Turn that down a little bit. That was a little bit loud for my patience. Makes me wish I still had my old PS2. Such a trip down memory lane. Remember the first time that I booted this game up. Just a wee bit more. And I like the fact that they kept the original graphics for this scene. And I remember looking back at that. I mean, anybody who grew up playing these older games, just looking back at it and going, that was so cool looking back then. Nowadays it looks like trash, but to me it still looks pretty decent. Maybe I'm just weird. Version by Grove Street Games, really. Alright, let's check out the options. I want to see if there's anything for streamer mode. Audio. I like having the subtitles on. Huh? Wow. It actually has a bunch of fucking save spots. I mean, technically, if you play these in actual chronological order, this definitive edition, you would actually be playing San Andreas first.
Sorry, babe. I'm an ambitious girl.
Biatch. Yeah. And she gets everything that comes to her. And the thing is you actually, he doesn't speak the entire game, and you don't learn his name until San Andreas. And it turns out his name is Claude.
Liberty City is in shock today as the police and emergency services deal with the aftermath of a devastating attack on a police convoy this morning. As yet, no details have been released about the prisoners being transferred in the convoy, and no group has claimed responsibility. The convoy left police headquarters early this morning for a routine transfer of felons to Liberty Penitentiary. The attack took place on the Callahan Bridge, leaving few witnesses and the bridge itself severely damaged. Some of the convicts are thought to have perished in the explosion that followed the initial attack. Revelations as to the professionalism of the attack struck police hours afterward, when identification of the missing felons were further hampered by an attack by computer hackers on police headquarters databases. With the Porter Tunnel project falling behind schedule, this disaster leaves Portland isolated from the rest of the city.
It is crazy to think.
It's no problem to kill you. You're gonna be sorry.
And if I remember correctly, in the original, because his name is 8-Ball, the black guy who punched the cop to get out, his hands were bandaged in the original game. Don't remember why they were, but they were. Actually, I don't think there was any actual... Yeah, now he's bandaged up. Oh, and playing back on a PlayStation is why I bought it on my PS5. Was so that I could get back to this. It's such a trip into the past. Forgot there was like no handbrake back then. All you had was your gas and your brake. I remember. Oh, there is a handbrake. Gotta get used to it.
This is the place right here. Let's get off the street and find a change of clothes.
Yep. I remember getting new places, stuff like that. The introduction to garages. I mean, GTA 3 gave so much to the game.
I know this guy. He's connected. His name's Luigi. Me and him go back, so I can probably get you some work. Come on, let's head over there. Let's go around the back and use the service door.
And the classic walk that they had back then for the characters.
Wait here, man, while I go in and talk to Luigi.
Uh-huh. Oh.
8-Ball's got some business upstairs. Well, maybe you could do me a favor. One of my girls needs a ride, so grab a car and pick up Misty from the clinic, then bring her back here.
Oh yeah. And this was when Rockstar really got into fucking with things.
On the wheel. If you don't mess this up, maybe there'll be more work for you. Now get out of here.
The funny thing is as I've gotten older, my hair has actually kind of gotten like Claude's, where it's real short but spiky up front. It's kind of like anime character hair. I remember my favorite my favorite car in this game was belonged to the Hispanic gang, because it was basically like a classic muscle car. Oh yeah. Yep. And this game, this was all music made by Rockstar. It wasn't until you got to Vice City that they started using real world music. I remember I was reading a lot of people were pissed because like some of the cheats had changed and stuff like that. I would say this, out of these classic three, Vice City is my absolute favorite, mainly because of the fucking music. I grew up with that shit.
To give you this, so here, take it.
And his face is actually fairly accurate from what I remember.
Spank, some wise guy's been introducing this trash to my girls down Portland Harbor. Respray it. I want compensation for this insult.
I mean, they aren't the prettiest looking character models, but I mean, you're talking about upgrading old school. I don't remember what was my favorite station in this one. I do know they said that some of the songs have changed. There was a bunch of songs missing, or at least they're still in the files, at least if you have the PC version. I'm guessing because, but that would be mainly between San Andreas and San Andreas and Vice City, because they had the real world music. And my guess would be because maybe they just don't still have rights to the licenses anymore. I mean, it's kind of what they did to GTA 4 was it updated, and songs they didn't have licenses for anymore were removed through an update. Which is really, really weird, because I mean, like, it's just really weird how they look at the ownership and licensing with all that stuff. Oh, Lips 106, I remember this station. I think this was one of my favorite stations.
Welcome back. This is Andy. Playing all the best music.
That, and I remember after this came out, the first Manhunt came out.
It's Andy's short hot mix when we play one back to back.
As in the because in some of the news clips they talk about Carson City, if I remember correctly. Classic weapon wheel. Oh my god. This was also back when all cars basically drove the same. I remember just playing this game for fucking ever. Buying houses and everything like that. Because I remember correctly, I believe you had to buy the higher level houses. Like you would, if I remember correctly, you would be given one when you first unlocked an area. But as in general, you had to buy them.
Talk to you. All right, Mick, I talk to you. How you doing, kid? The Don's son, Joey Leone. He wants some action from his regular girl, Misty. Go pick her up at Hepburn Heights, but watch yourself. That's Diablo turf. Then run her over to his garage in Trenton and make it quick. Joey ain't the kind you keep waiting. Remember, this is your foot in the door. So keep your eyes on the road. Not Misty.
And she becomes the overarching pain in the ass later on. I want Lips 106. Yep, Diablo. Diablo territory. This is where you can get the freaking muscle car. Oh, I will say this, Claude, he has probably one of the worst arcs when it comes to the MCs for GTA, given the fact that he fell for that one lunatic and comes all the way to Liberty City, gets shot by her and put in jail, and then he falls for this Misty later on, if I'm remembering it correctly.
Isn't that just great? Next week, we've got our big bi-monthly phone-in. When you get the chance to win a meal for two, fast food outlet of your choice. As long as you choose one of our competition sponsors.
Finally, pop music's got a new boy.
Joey! Am I gonna get to play with your big ends again?
I'll be with you in a minute, Sparkplug. Hey, I'm Joey. Luigi said you were reliable, so come back later. There might be some work for you. All right?
Oh, let's go finish up Luigi's. That's how I've always kind of been with these ones, is I've always been work on the people that I have the jobs for and get through their stuff first, and then move on to the next one. And I forgot vehicles do not act. This was completely different physics back then. It's basically all the vehicles drove almost the same unless you were driving something huge. Alright, I'm gonna turn that off for now. Nope. Which I should get a game save in. It feels so weird playing this again. I remember back when Vice City came out, I remember there was rumors that they were going to try to take the they were going to try to add in an element to the game where vehicles that you basically own, basically your garage vehicles, that they would rust over time, which I always thought would be an interesting concept, but it'd be very hard to work out the logistics. Of course, it never happened, and I'm not sure if it was just a rumor or what.
Some Diablo scumbag has been pimping his scuzzy bitches in my backyard. Go and take care of things for me. If you need a piece, go around back of Ammunition opposite the subway.
Yep. And the beginning of Ammunition. There's the Diablo. I think actually that vehicle's called a Diablo, if I remember correctly. Purple Pimp. And I remember having to go into the Ammunitions, like actually walk through. Yeah, everything's out of stock. Everything is kind of like, you gotta progress through the story to unlock shit.